What's going on, everyone? So I talked about the Lakers preserving their first round pick because next season they would have as many as 3 first round picks that they could potentially pony up and trade. Obviously, the Lakers' plan is in a post-LeBron era to bring in that other star. Giannis, Nikola Jokic, those are kind of the two pieces that are, rumored to the Lakers are targeting to land alongside Luka Doncic, especially now that you have Luka under that new extension. It makes sense like, hey, LeBron in a year or so are going to leave and depart. This talks about 2026. My problem with 2026 is like there just aren't any free agents. Now, next offseason, if Giannis doesn't leave this year, it's very possible he could leave next. And Nikola Jokic, he could say like, hey, I'm not signing the extension still. I want to go to Lakers. And now the Lakers have the assets to, put together a competitive offer in order to go and acquire a Nikola Jokic. If LeBron wants to leave and he departs, then you can work out a sign and trade and maybe get a couple more pieces or assets to go make a move, right? There's options in the offseason. But the other side of that coin is to go all in, push your chips all in, right? And I do believe, like, I'm one of those people, like, if you build it, they will come, right? Build the contender and trust that, hey, you're the Lakers, and trust that somebody else will come. I was saying this 2 years ago, right? Like when there was talks about Anthony Davis and is he the guy and LeBron James when he leaves and all that stuff. And they said, trust that you're the Lakers and it's going to work out, right? Whatever, the NBA is going to rig it, however you feel, if you're one of those people, fine. At the end of the day, right? The Lakers will get their guys because they always do. So trust the process that if Giannis or Jokic or somebody really wants to come to Lakers, guess what? They're going to push themselves and they're going to push their way to Lakers. Maybe you have to wait till 2027 in order to make that happen, but that's 2 years from now, right? Right now, what you got is a healthy, motivated, hungry Luka Doncic who might end up being the best version of Luka we've ever seen. And now look, Luka himself has said that he believes that this team has enough to win a championship. But that's because Luka is so good. Luka is so talented and he's so competitive. You don't think in his mind he believes that? You don't think in his head he thinks like, you know what? I am like me by myself with like you and me, right? Luka could win a championship. Of course. In his mind, he can win anything, right? But the thing is that there's still clear holes on this roster. Just because Luka thinks that, right? Doesn't mean that you can't, even if we are, let's say that we are, because who knows? I've talked about it. It's very possible we're good enough to win a championship. You're going to have an excellent Luka. DeAndre Ayton, I think, is going to be the best version of himself, right? That alone could be the best offense in all of basketball, that two-man game. LeBron James, if he's locked in, bought in, and ready to go, I mean, he's going to be the best second option in all of basketball, maybe ever, like literally ever. And then on top of that, you have guys like Jake LaRavia, Jared Vanderbilt's working on his game. Marcus Smart, I think, is going to be a big impact guy. You have pieces that could make this Lakers team very good this upcoming season. I think they're going to have the best offense in all of basketball. I've talked about how I think the defense of concerns are a bit overblown. I'm not saying that they're going to be the best defense in basketball or anything like that, but I do think that they're going to be pretty good defensively, right? And we have seen, if you have the best offense and you're a well-oiled machine, the defense, you just need it to be okay, right, in order to win a championship. Saw it with Denver a few years ago. But beyond the Luka element of it, you also have LeBron James, who is still monitoring, still keeping an eye on, the Lakers' moves and acquisitions. And you're going to have now, for the first time ever, in LeBron's entire life, really probably, him being kind of the second guy. Him being the guy that is going to let Luka be Luka, let Luka do his thing, and he's going to be able to preserve himself in ways that he just hasn't been able to over the last few years, right? Because Luka is so good. I mean, more often than not, yes, there's going to be moments here and there where, LeBron might have to put the cape on one more time and stuff. But at the end of the day, you have 2 top 10 players in all of basketball. You're the only team that has that. And on top of that, you have 2 of the best players, ever, right? And 2 of the best offensive engines ever, right? So Lakers are in a position to where, again, if you can win a championship, if you build a roster that can win a championship, one, I don't think LeBron leaves. And I know that there's talks about the Lakers want to force LeBron out and push LeBron out and blah, 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 blah. But who are you going to replace him with next year? Honestly, right? Yes, if Giannis or Jokic become available, and they want to go to the Lakers, then and LeBron's like, yeah, I want out, then you figure it out, right? You work it out. But there's also a good chance that even if those two want to, that you're not going to be able to do what you need or be able to put together the package enough to go trade those guys. There are teams that'll look at Nikola Jokic and go, we're willing to pony up and rent him for a year. Right? You don't think that there's a team out there that would probably do the Kawhi Leonard route, right? And just let's go get him for a year. Same thing with like a Giannis. Let's go get him for a year and see. Yeah, we know he's going to Lakers in the offseason, but we'll figure it out. And then you can work that out, run it back next year. Right? If you win a championship now, though, again, now you have LeBron, who's probably going to want to stay. He's probably going to want to stick around, right? And if he does leave, well, at least you got a championship out of it, right? And on top of that, now you have the championship foundation to where maybe now Giannis and Jokic and these guys go, wait, LeBron's leaving, right? I need to, we need to force our, now maybe the conversation is like, hey, if you trade for me, we'll just sit out for a year, especially in Nikola Jokic. You don't think Nikola Jokic, right? Like, I mean, DeMarcus Cousins is talking about him, retiring. You think he won't be like, I'll just take a year off, right? Tell you what, you want to trade for me? That's fine. I'll just take a year off, right? But there has to be a reason for Jokic or somebody to say that. There's got to be a reason for one of these guys to do that. Right? If you go out and you push your chips in and you go win a championship this year, and now LeBron, if he wants to leave, then great, he can leave. And then now you can bring in that guy because now it makes sense for that guy to go, wait a minute, they just won a championship last year. I could just move in, replace LeBron, and we could go win back-to-back. And the Lakers all of a sudden now could be the best, first team to win back-to-back since the Warriors, right? So to me, it's just, I do think that there's an incentive. Now, that doesn't mean you just make a trade just to make a trade, right? Still stand by, no trade is better than a bad trade, right? Like you can't, like Lakers are limited in that. They need to be smart. They need to be calculated, right? I don't mind a risk here or there. I don't mind a team overpaying for somebody if it's warranted, if it makes sense. There's things that go into it. It has to make sense, right? But if I'm also okay with the Lakers going into the season as is, right? Evaluating, seeing what does this team really need? Because again, what if this team just is that good and they are just running through everybody and they're like, the 2 seed in the West or the 1 seed in the West, but they have like the best offense by a good margin and they're like pretty good defensively. Like they're, top 15 defensively. And it's just like, man, they're a contending team, right? Look at them. Like they're great. And that way you can kind of go through the season and then now you're at a better point of leverage. Now you're at a point where you can kind of, hey, you know what? Like we would love Andrew Wiggins, but we don't need Andrew Wiggins. We would love, Matisse Thybulle and Robert Williams still, but we don't need them. Right? Like we're good as is. We got, whatever. Jake LaRavia and Jared Vanderbilt have really emerged and been those guys. DeAndre Ayton's out here cooking and torching. Jackson Hayes has been excellent in a backup role, right? And you start putting all this stuff together and it's like, oh, wow, like the Lakers are that good, right? Like you're not beating this Lakers team, but you could always get better, right? There's also the argument that, you don't want to ruin chemistry, so you don't want to have too much of a turnaround, but you can always get better, right? Like even if the Lakers are, let's say, the best team in basketball next season, right? You can always get little better to where you that could be the difference between you winning a championship or not. But you can wait for that opportunity to present itself. You can wait for that to kind of shape itself up and then go make that play, then go make that move rather than just kind of running to the door to go do it. But if you can go make, like, let's say you can go trade for Matisse Thybulle and Robert Williams, right? Using like Dalton Connect and whatever. And then you can go trade for Andrew Wiggins using that first. I think you do it, right? Like if you can work it out. So say you're doing Rui, Maxi Kleba and a first or whatever to go get Andrew Wiggins, and then you're trading for Thybulle and all that stuff, right? Like however you want to shape it up, however you want to work it out, I don't care as long as it makes sense. As long as and at the end of the day, right? Like Lakers are very limited on their assets, but they do have enough assets to get something done. Also, the other side of that is like their best assets, arguably, are their expiring contracts. Now, it is very possible they might not even have to trade a first in order to make some of the moves that they're making, especially if they're not going to go make a big splash trade, right? Like Matisse Thybulle, Robert Williams, that could do a ton for this Lakers team, but in no shape, way or form are you giving up a first for that deal? It's illogical. It's foolish, right? So no, like you want to first keep them, right? Connect, okay, like it would suck to have to give up Connect in that thing, but they need something to make sense. Otherwise, it's better off. Like they're not just going to swap salaries. If you could do like a second, sure, or like a second and a pick swap and save Connect and that, then sure, right? Like, but as long as you're preserving your first in that trade, fine. Right? Same thing with like an Andrew Wiggins. Like I'm not giving up Connect and a first. Right? Like if you want one or the other, sure, I would try to keep the first, and I do think at some point maybe that opens up, and that's not counting other moves. But also, I don't want the Lakers to wait around for a maybe if something's on the table, right? Let's say a Miles Bridges, right? He's young enough to be a core foundation piece on this team. I mean, literally could slot into your 3 for the next, or 4, either side, but could literally slot into that starting 3 and be a legit 2-way guy for you that could go get you 20 plus a night, right? Gives you that for the next 8 years with Luka. Right? Like that, okay, now Connect in a first and pick swap or whatever. Okay, cool. But I don't want to see the Lakers go like, no, we're good. And you don't make that move. And then you fast forward to, the season or whatever when Jokic, or you get into this next offseason and Jokic ends up signing the extension. So that now takes him off the table. And then Giannis ends up getting traded to like Houston or something and signs a new extension. And it's like, okay, we could have Miles Bridges that we could have added in and, done the Blazers trade, but we didn't do those things because we were waiting around for Nikola Jokic and Giannis. I'd rather you go do those. And then if Jokic wants to come, right? Well, just so happens that you have an upgrade at the 3. You can move a dude Thero or Jared Vanderbilt to the 3 and then move Miles Bridges to the 4 and slot that in. Now you're just a much better, well-rounded team. I would much prefer the Lakers do that, personally. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.